So you are very much familiar with the word momentum, right? What is momentum? Momentum actually is the measure of quantity of motion in a body. Okay, and this quantity of motion, it depends upon two factors. Okay, it is mass of the body and the velocity of the body, right? So you have to understand that these two factors actually they give you the formula for momentum, or you can say that the definition of momentum. So finally, definition of momentum is given by what? That it is the product of mass and the velocity of the body. Okay, this formula is also used here. You can see the formula is provided to you. P is equal to m into v. Okay, where p is what? Where p is momentum of the body, mass is m is the mass of the body, and v is the velocity of the body. Okay, so finally what we can say, we can say that momentum of a moving body is always or you can say that a moving body always possesses momentum. Okay, a moving body always possesses momentum. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, every moving body possesses momentum, and every object at rest has zero momentum, right? Now what we are going to do today in this session, we are going to find the link between, or the relation between force and the momentum, because we know that force is also something which is affected by mass and the velocity. Okay, it is direct, we know that force is directly proportional to mass as well as force is directly proportional to velocity. So we are going to find out what actually is the relation between force and the momentum. Okay, so today's session is about second law of Newton, that is Newton's second law of motion. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome to Learn PCM. You are watching Learn PCM, and we are going through a series of sessions for the chapter Force and the Laws of Motion. And this is session number 5, which you are watching. And let us try to understand second Newton's second law of motion. Okay, so I'll be writing the heading first. Fine. So we are going to find what? Newton's second law of motion. Okay, we are going to discuss about. But before discussing about Newton's second law of motion, what we are going to find out, we will see how the this force and the momentum, these two are linked, or these two are related to each other. Okay, so let us consider first one of the condition. Okay, say you are having a truck. Okay, say there is a truck. Okay, uh, somehow this is a truck. Just whatever is my drawing, I'll try to consider a truck. Okay, so this is a truck. You know, its mass is quite heavier, and then you are having a car. Okay, say this is a car. Okay, you can make it more this one good one. So since you know very good is my drawing, so this is your car, this is your car. Okay, and you know that mass of this truck, this mass is heavier, right? Isn't it? Do you feel that it is heavy? And what about this car? This is lighter, isn't it? It is light vehicle. Car is a light vehicle, whereas truck is heavy vehicle. Okay, now what if force, same force is applied here? Say you are going to apply a same force on this as well as on this. Just see the situation. The same force is applied on truck as well as on the car for the same time. Okay, say for same time interval, say t, and here also for the same time interval t. What will happen to both of the vehicles? You will observe that what will happen. Just think about it, and then you can give the answer to in the comment box as well. If you're watching it right now, you can give the answer in the comment box that if same force is applied on this truck as well as on the car, and for the same time interval, what will happen to both of the vehicle? What changes you will find, or what will happen? You will see, what you will see that the truck is going to have less velocity. It is going to acquire less velocity, whereas this will move faster, this will move slower. Okay, it will move slower. You can say that move slower, and this will move faster. Will it be or not? And could you please tell me why it is going to be move slow? It is going to move slower and this is going to move faster. This car is going to move faster and this truck is going to move slower, which implies what? It implies that this truck, it acquires or it attains less velocity. It attains less velocity. Whereas this acquires, okay, this one, it acquires what? It acquires more velocity. Okay, it acquires more or higher velocity. Okay, this one, this car, it acquires. Let me write the word acquires as well, so that it will be clear to you that we are talking about the velocity. And why it is so? Why is that so? It could be there could be reason what, that this is heavier, isn't it? This is heavy vehicle and this is lighter vehicle. So the same force is up, when the same force is applied on both of the cases, on both of the vehicles, you will find that the heavier vehicle acquires less velocity, whereas the lighter vehicle, it moves faster and acquires more velocity or the higher velocity. Okay, so how this relation is, how is it expressed in Newton's law of second law of motion? It shows that there is some, what it actually shows, this implies Newton's second law of motion, and what it shows, this only implies Newton's second law of motion. And what it gives then, what it shows, this condition shows you what? It shows that the rate of change of momentum, okay, the rate of change of momentum is actually, let me take it to the little top. Is directly proportional, is actually, it is directly it is directly proportional to the applied force. What do you get here? That the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and it takes place, this takes place in the direction of the force applied. Okay, where it takes place? It takes place in the direction, and it takes place in the direction in which the force is applied. Do you understand what actually it is then? Here the condition has shown, see what has happened here in the first case, in the situation, in this situation where you have seen that the two of the vehicles were provided in front of you, both were applied with the same force for the same interval of time. You can see here same force was applied on both of the cases and same interval of time was there. And what happened after that, that you have seen here that the heavier vehicle acquires less velocity, it moves slower rather than the car, where the car moved faster, all because car acquires more velocity, higher velocity, whereas truck acquired less velocity. And so the relation, the in between these two, what conclusion was taken out, that the rate of change of momentum, the quantity of motion, as there was change in the quantity, measure of quantity of motion in the given bodies, or in the this in these two vehicles, it was actually directly proportional to the applied force. It was directly proportional to the applied force, and it takes place in the direction in which the force was applied. Okay, here it has been applied in this direction, so the motion was in this direction as well. Okay, here also the force was applied in this direction, so the motion of the car was in this direction only. Okay, so we can say that what we can say, that the rate of change of body is directly proportional to the applied force which takes place in the direction in which the force acts. Okay, now how we are going to show it, how to show this in the form of expression, let us try to find out. Okay, we'll try to check, we'll try to find out that how can we express this in the form of expression. Okay, since I'm saying that force is what, it is directly proportional to what, it is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum, rate of change of momentum. When we are saying that it is rate of change of momentum, and when the word rate is implied here, when the word rate is used here, it means this force is going to be in reference, we are talking about this force in reference to time, with respect to time. Okay, so we can write this as change in momentum, we can write it as change in momentum, or change of momentum also you can write. So change in momentum of a body with respect to time. Okay, we call it as with respect to time. You must understand that whenever we are talking about a word rate, it is always considered with respect to time. So what is force? Force is this expression gives us, that force is directly proportional to change in momentum upon time, because we are talking in terms of rate. Rate always is with respect to time. Okay, so here what you can do, you can just write it in the form like this. We know that the momentum of a body is given by what formula? It is given by P equals to mv, right? But also we know that if there is some initial velocity and some final velocity, then the change in momentum of that body is given by what? It could be like mv minus mu upon, say, time t, where you can just write it as here. Let me write here force again, F, and where you will write that v is what? V is the final velocity. Okay, final velocity, and u is initial velocity of the body. Okay, initial velocity of the body. Okay, and if we are talking about mv, so it is what? This is given as, this is the momentum which is shown over here. Okay, this is the formula of momentum which we have already studied, right? So we can write force is directly proportional to mv minus mu upon t. And further what we can do? Further we can write that this is directly proportional to, let us take out m as common. So we will be having v minus u upon t, right? Further what we can do, we know that this expression v minus u upon t, what actually it is giving to you? You can see here that v, if we are talking about m, and then this one, this whole, if we consider this whole, what will happen? You can if you remember, v minus u upon t, what it is, what it gives? It gives you the change in velocity. Change in velocity, it is giving you change in velocity, and again it is upon t, it means it is rate of change of velocity. You can either say change in velocity with time, or you can say it is rate of change of velocity. And when we are talking about rate of change of velocity, it means what it is? It is an acceleration which is produced in the body. Okay, we are talking about acceleration. isn't it? We are talking about acceleration because there is change in velocity, and whenever we are saying there is change in velocity with respect to time, we call it acceleration. So we can put over here this whole v minus u upon t is actually equal to a. What we can say finally, we can say that F is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration. Mass and acceleration. Okay, it is product of, it is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration. And here this relation can be further taken as, if we remove this symbol, we need one constant and say it is given by kma, where k is equal to 1. Okay, we consider k as 1 in the international SI units. We consider it as 1. Okay, value of constant k is 1 here. Then in that case we are going to get 1 dot ma, that is equal to ma. It means force will be given by the product of mass and acceleration. Force is given by product of mass and acceleration. So this is your force. Do you understand this? What is being done here? We can say here, we can say now that, let me write, yeah. So we can say that force actually is equal to, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, this is the second law of motion. Now what is the second law of motion? We can define second law of Newton's second, or you can say that Newton's second law of motion is what? Actually Newton's second law of motion can be defined in two ways. Newton's second law of motion further can be defined, or you can say that we can define this in two ways. First is what? Newton's second law of motion states what? It states that force is directly proportional to force is directly proportional to, or you should write in terms of rate of change of, let me change it. I should not write like this. Where is the eraser? Okay. Yeah, what we can write, we can say that the rate of change, first Newton's second law of motion can be written into, can be given into definitions. Okay, so we can say that according to Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly, okay, is directly proportional to force applied on it. Okay, to the force applied on it, and it takes place, in the direction of force applied. Okay, in the direction of force applied. Okay, and second definition is what? Second definition we can say is, let me, okay, second definition. So second definition, we can say that Newton's second law, what it gives us? It gives us the relationship between force and acceleration. So we can say that, the acceleration produced in a body is directly proportional to the force acting on it. Okay, understood. So finally we can say that force is actually this can also be written as that force is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration. Okay, understood. What is Newton's second law of motion? We can say that it is the rate of change. It states that the rate of change of momentum of a body actually is directly proportional to the force applied on it, and it takes place in the direction of force applied. Okay, or you can even say that the acceleration which is produced in a body is actually directly proportional to the force acting on it. Okay, sorry. So we can also say that force is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration, which is given by what? Which is given by the formula of force equals to m into a. Okay, this formula is actually the result of second law of motion. Okay, it is implied by what? It is actually the result of Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. Okay, so I hope it is now clear to you. Or if you consider this formula, then this formula also gives you the acceleration. Okay, you can find acceleration out of this formula. You can find acceleration out of this formula, and it will be given by force upon m. So now you can see that there is a relation between force and the momentum, which we have already seen, that rate of change of momentum actually is directly proportional to the applied force. And also there is a relation between acceleration and the and force, and how you can define that rate of change of that force is directly proportional to the product of acceleration and mass of the body. Okay, so these two are the things, these two are the factors which you have to keep in your mind, and these two are the relations which you obtain out of second law of motion. With the help of second law of motion, you can find acceleration as well, and which you are going to get in the form of this formula. Okay, where F is what? Where F is force, M is mass of the body, and A is the acceleration produced by the body. Okay, so I think now it is very much clear to you that what is the second law of motion, and remember that this acceleration which is produced is inversely proportional to the mass of the body. Therefore, if mass of the body is doubled, in that case, what will be the acceleration? Just think about it. You can see here that acceleration which is produced in the body, you can see here this formula is applying, this formula can imply you what? That acceleration is inversely proportional to mass of the body. Okay, it means if mass is large, acceleration will be less. If this is large, then acceleration will be less. If mass is smaller, if mass is less, then acceleration will be more. Okay, do you get this point? That if if you are having mass and if it is less, then acceleration obviously is going to be higher. Okay, so they are inversely proportional to each other, and therefore when mass is doubled, suppose you are going to double the mass, okay, if you are going to double the mass of a body, if mass is doubled, so what will happen to acceleration? Acceleration is going to be halved. And try to find out how it is done. With the help of this formula, you can check. If you're going to put 2m over here, what you're going to get here? The value of a will be what? You can find out. Okay, you will see that it is giving you half. Okay, so this is all about your acceleration, all about second law of motion, and how the acceleration is this one. um, how you can find the value, how you can find the unit here. F is given by what? M into A, correct? When F is equal to M into A, if you put the value here, so if we are going to put 1 kg for M, you put here 1 kg, and for acceleration, if you take acceleration as 1 meter per second square, okay, 1 meter per second square, then what will be the unit over here? You will get kg meter per second square. So F could be given by this unit as well. Understood? What is this? That 1 Newton, you can write here that this force, this is giving, you say it is for 1 Newton, you are getting here 1, since it is we are talking about 1 kg, we are talking about 1 meter per second square of acceleration. So force you are going to get is what? It is going to give you as 1 Newton. When force is 1 Newton, it means the quantity is 1. We are talking about kg meter per second square. Sorry. Okay, this is minus. Okay, okay, let me write it properly. No, yeah, okay. So fine, here it is minus. Okay, so the first law of motion is already discussed, the second law of motion is given to you, and I hope you have understood all this. Now we are going to come up with the application of Newton's second law of motion in our coming session. Okay, so get ready to understand the applications of Newton's second law of motion, and till then, take care. Bye bye.